Hey guys, sorry for the weird pause. I hate how there's always like this delay when YouTube goes live and I just sit here awkwardly until I wait for it to turn on. But I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Thank you for joining me for another live stream. Hey Julian, hey Fun Disney fan. I'm live a minute early. Sorry to everyone who's waiting till 3 o'clock exactly. So today I want to talk about favorite Disney memories, and I want you guys to tell me what some of yours are. But I'm going to start with a couple of mine that I had in mind. And I've been to Disney World a lot, you guys know this. But I have a couple of memories that have always sort of stuck with me since, you know, I've been down all these many times. So I wanted to share some of them with you, but I also obviously want to hear what your favorite memories are. So one of mine, oh hey Andre, good to see you. Hey Sean Vlog, what's up? So one of my favorite memories ever was when I was like, I want to say I was like 13 around then, and Rock and Roller Coaster had just opened a few months prior, and I went down with my whole family, including my older brother. So he was like 18, almost 19 at the time. And my parents had no desire to go on Rock and Roller Coaster, but they were like, you know what, just go and we'll meet you afterwards. So we waited in line. It was supposed to be an hour wait. We waited in line for an hour, got halfway through the line, and found out that the ride broke down. So I look at my brother and he looks at me and he's like, well, we got to get on this ride. It just opened and like we have to ride it. And this was before we ever ridden it before. So we were like, okay, I guess we're just going to stick it out. We ended up waiting 2 hours to get on Rock and Roller Coaster. So it was twice what the wait time said. We finally got on it. We absolutely loved it. It was a blast. And then when we left, my dad was like so pissed. He thought that we rode the ride multiple times because they were like waiting for us. And he was like, what the hell? What did you guys do? Did you go on that ride twice? The wait said it was only an hour. And we were just laughing. And we were like, Dad, the ride broke down halfway through and we had to see it through. We just like had to get on this ride. And it was just so funny. And then my dad was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like he thought that we were just like, you know, forget our parents. We're just gonna like wait in line forever and ride this ride like 3 times. It was really, really funny. We still like joke about that now. Hey Stephanie. And my second favorite memory that I've ever had was when I first ever watched Illuminations. I accidentally watched it. I was with my family. I think this was the same trip. We were eating in Japan, and we were never a family that planned around fireworks or anything like that. So we were walking out of dinner, and all of a sudden Illumination starts. And my mom was so just emotionally taken by the show. I think we all didn't expect to see it. And I think she just really felt emotional about the message that they kind of come across with Illuminations. And as a younger kid, seeing my mom's eyes light up, seeing something in Disney was like a really amazing moment for me. And it's part of the reason why I love Illuminations so much and why I think it should be around forever. But that is a very, very special memory to me. So those are 2 that I thought of when I was thinking, like, what's the ones that have really, really stuck with me since, you know, I've been down a bunch of times. But I want to hear, tell me, guys, in the chat, what are your favorite Disney memories? It could be Disney World, Disneyland. It could be, I don't know, a really funny experience at a Disney store near you. Whatever your favorite Disney memories are, shoot, I want to hear them. Hey, Rob Fuzz, good to see you. Good to see you too, Courtney. All right, so Fun Disney Fan says, my favorite memory is riding Flight of Passage the first time. I was stunned. Yeah, that is definitely up there for me now. I was so amazed by that ride that like I got verklempt. I had a couple of little tears of like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. So definitely up there for me too. Courtney says, I guess the entirety of being in the park for Christmas is one of the best memories. We spent a week in the parks and everything was just so festive and serene. You know, I haven't been down for the holidays since I was a little kid. We went one time between Thanksgiving and Christmas when I was younger, but I haven't been down for the holiday season since then, and I really do want to do it. Stephanie says, my favorite memory is when I was at Disney Springs and this person was trying to get on the bus with their scooter, and 10 times she bumped into the bus instead of actually getting onto the bus. Oh, Stephanie. That's kind of funny, but hopefully somebody helped her out to get on the bus. Courtney says, I also got to march down Main Street with my high school's marching band, and in recent years, that's been the most incredible experience. The entire process of it was just amazing. Courtney, I'd love to hear more. Like, I've seen some of the high school bands, Disney World, and I saw them in Disneyland when I was there. I would love to hear more. What is that process like? How do you guys get picked to do that? Do you get to go backstage ahead of time? Tell me. I want to know. Rob Fuzz says, my favorite memory was taking the Behind the Magic tour and walking below Magic Kingdom. Pretty awesome. Yeah, I really want to do Keys to the Kingdom, because you get to do a lot of backstage stuff. It's just like, it's a 5-hour tour, so I just have to like find the time to dedicate to that. And it's also starts really early in the morning, but really, really need to do one of those. Hey, Tricky Crayon says, favorite memory at the moment is meeting the 7 dwarfs during the very Merry Christmas party. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know that they were like meetable at the Christmas party. That is really cool. So do you meet them like all together? Is it like one big, huge photo op? Because that sounds really awesome. Also, Hunchback is on Freeform, so I'm watching that in your stream at the same time. Yes! I could not ask for anything more. If you guys are multitasking during my stream, let it be because you're watching Hunchback, because it is the best movie ever. Pete says, do you think they start Haunted Mansion Holiday too soon? Do you mean in Disneyland? Because obviously they don't do it in Disney World. I haven't actually experienced it, and as a very big Nightmare Before Christmas fan, I am totally missing out. So I don't really know when they start it. I'm assuming you mean like maybe they start right after Halloween stuff, so like November? I don't know. You tell me when that is, and I'll tell you if I think it's too early. Courtney says, so we had to apply to be able to march in the first place. We marched Magic Kingdom and played a concert in Epcot with days at Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom and dinner at the Hoop. Oh, I love Hoop-Dee-Doo. One of the best dinners, you guys. I highly, highly recommend it. No matter where you sit, it's a good seat. So, like, don't worry if you're, like, worried about tears and stuff. Oh, such a good show. Tricky Crown says, yes, you meet all 7 at once. That is so cool. That is really, really cool. See, that makes me want to do the Christmas party now because I want to meet all 7 dwarfs at once. Hey, Riley, good to see you. Andre, you've never seen Hunchback? Oh, my gosh. I implore you to watch it. I don't know. It might still be on Netflix. I don't really know because I know that they keep changing the Disney movies on there a lot. But if you have a way to watch it, just watch it. It's not for everybody. I'll be completely honest. It is one of the darker, more, I guess, serious toned Disney movies. But the music is amazing. And I don't know. Obviously, you guys know I love it. I don't need to sell you on why I love it. But you should watch it. Courtney says, the day of Magic Kingdom, we had most of the morning to do... Oh, God, you guys are going so quick. I can't catch up. Morning to do what we like, but around the afternoon, we had a meet up in Adventureland, go backstage, led in by a cast member. We saw the festival fantasy floats and had limited cell phone use until we got to the DPA Center where we changed into uniforms. And then when we warmed up, and once we got the okay, we went out to March. Oh, my God, that's so cool that you got to see the floats back there. Totally understand why they didn't let you use phones, because they probably didn't want you to, like... take photos or whatever. That happened when I went on the Caring for Giants tour. There's like a short section where you were backstage, Animal Kingdom, and like, yeah, you can't pull your phones out. Fun Disney fan says, another of my great memories is doing the Disney After Hours event and ending up being the only one in front of Peter Pan and having only one other person in the viewable area. That's amazing. So I've definitely heard about these events, and I know that they're like paid for like was an extra couple of hours. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know, they're kind of expensive, but because they've done such limited versions of the events, like I've seen amazing photos of people like riding Splash Mountain by themselves. Like it'll just be like them and the entire like boat is otherwise empty. And like, that's just super amazing to me. So I know they're only running them through spring right now. I wonder if they're going to extend them, like depending on how well they do, I assume. But now I'm kind of tempted to do one. Stephanie says, another one is my aunt fed bread to the ducks at breakfast, and then she went back to her room to get her bag. Then she opened up her deck and all the ducks were still there. I was confused. Yeah, man, you feed animals, they will hang around with you forever. And a lot of the animals in Disney get fed by guests, so some of the ducks there are really aggressive. I remember running into a very aggressive duck at Coronado Springs many years ago. Tricky Crayon says, Seven Dwarfs is super popular, so there's always a long wait, but it was worth it. I was grinning like a child. That sounds so cool. Geek for Life says, my favorite memory was seeing the Aladdin parade at Hollywood Studios MGM at the time back in '93. Yeah, I remember the Aladdin parade. It was awesome, and I kind of wish they still had something like that there. I think a lot of the old parades at MGM were really cool. Nathan says, one time me and my friend had to beeline it through Hollywood Studios during the Christmas show, so there was fireworks and dancers and blasting music while me and my best bud were hauling butt to meet our friends. That sounds so fun and like really chaotic, but like in the best sort of way. Courtney says the concert at Epcot was also interesting because we had to take a bus from World Showcase to Future World, and I remember seeing all of the food and wine stalls sitting back there. Oh, that's so cool. That's such a cool experience to have, to like see all of that stuff. See, I was always so curious, like, what is it like when you get to, you know, be one of those bands that are like, you know, invited? That's so cool. Hey, Lynn, it's great to see you here. Courtney says, my father had a run-in with ducks during one of our childhood trips. A whole group of ducklings were following him around to get trail mix. Oh my God, that is so funny. Ducks and squirrels, I find, are like, there's actually so sort of a problem here in New York and some of the parks where people feed squirrels, and so they're starting to learn to like come up to people to get food, and it's like super intense. Apparently, like last summer, a squirrel like attacked somebody because it was like trying to get food or something. So don't feed animals, you guys. You really shouldn't. They get a little nuts. Stephanie said, I was about to go down the big drop on Splash Mountain, then it stopped right at the top. Oh my God, that is so scary. How long were you stuck up there for? Oh, you had to evacuate. How long did it take for you to get off? I'm like really like curious about like how long did it take for them to get up to you? One time I saw Splash getting evacuated, and it's really weird because when you see people standing in the ride suddenly feels a lot smaller than you think it is, like perspective wise. It was weird. Like we saw like cast members, they were handing out bottles of water and umbrellas to people because it was really hot, so they were trying to like keep them in the shade until they could get them off, and the cast members seemed like 10 feet tall compared to the rest of the ride, so it's really weird when you see stuff like that. 15 to 25 minutes to get off. I mean, I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, I'm interested. Has anyone else been stuck on a ride or evacuated off of a ride? I have never been evacuated. I've been stuck here or there. I got stuck in the TTA once when it was inside Space Mountain, but they didn't turn the lights on. It wasn't long enough for that, but it was also really scary because it was like we were in the pitch dark for like, I assume it was 5 minutes. It felt longer because it was so dark. Courtney says a lot of the most special moments and I've been having during recent trips, sorry, cannot read today, are character meet and greets. I draw pictures for face characters to sign and they absolutely love it. Oh my God, that is such an awesome idea. I just love the originality of that. I've been really enjoying meeting face characters too, especially as an adult, I think, because you can start like fun conversations with them. And I think that they kind of enjoy that because they get to like interact within character and like kind of crack jokes and whatever. And like I've had a lot of fun meeting face characters. Nathan says, I got evacuated off Big Thunder Mountain, got to see the innards of the ride. That sounds weird. That makes it sound like it's a person and you saw the innards. That's really cool though. I admit that I've always kind of wanted to be evacuated off a ride. I feel like that would be really cool, but also a little bit scary. I assume that you guys get like fast passes for that, right? Like it's like, okay, you got stuck on this ride. They probably give you like an everything fast pass or whatever. I like I called it an everything fast pass, like it's like an everything bagel or something. Like, yeah, it's just an everything fast pass. It just has everything on it. That is really, really cool. Stephanie says, before I go, one of my favorite memories was when I was at school. My mom surprised me to go to Disney World. That's awesome. I have never had the whole like surprise thing. I always kind of knew when we were having trips. There was one trip though where my mom and I talked about how we wanted to go back, and then she literally booked it for like 4 weeks later. And as a kid, that was the most exciting thing ever, to be like, oh my God, we're booking this trip, and oh my God, we're going in 4 weeks. But I feel like I'm going to be one of those moms that's like definitely going to do the full like, surprise, we're going to Disney World and we're going like today thing. Like, because that's just me, and I think it's so cool to do that. But my parents also used to take me out of school for Disney, which was great. We never did the whole summer rush thing. They were just like, nah, we're going to take you a week off from school. Unfortunately, one year my teacher made me bring homework with me. So that's a not so nice memory of me doing homework in the hotel room. At the time, well, it was French Quarter, but at the time it was just Port Orleans. It was before they separated the two. And I would sit there every day and do homework at the little table in the room. It was so terrible. It was like really not cool. Let me think. I'm trying to think of another great memory. Well, I have a good memory that's partly has some negative to it. So one trip my brother had the flu, which really sucked for him, and he was like in the hotel room for a couple of days. But my mom and I decided to leave and go to Hollywood Studios and like do our own thing. And we got to meet Mickey. This was like in the 90s. And he was like outside somewhere. It definitely isn't like how they do the meet and greets now there. And it was like nobody was there. It was really weird. It was like one of the situations where like there was very little line ahead of us for him, and we got to spend so much time with him, and it was just really cool. It was like a really great memory. Unfortunately, with a little bit of a bad memory of my brother being sick and grumpy, but Lynn says, I always wanted a surprise trip as a kid, but even when I was young, I helped plan the trips. Yeah, me too. Like, I was totally involved. I was like 12 years old and was like, when are we going? And I want to go on this, and this, and like, yeah, all of that. So I don't think my mom could have planned without me knowing, because I enjoyed the planning, and I still enjoy it now. Courtney says, I can't remember if I brought homework with me or not on the marching band trip, actually. I know I did on a different band trip, but probably not for Disney. Yeah, it was so mean. And then my mom was like, fine, I guess I'm just going to help you do your homework then, because I paid for this vacation and I want you to go have fun. And she didn't want me sitting in the room just like doing homework the entire time. So I don't know, teachers, don't give your kids homework at Disney, or make it like something around Disney. Give them something that like, I don't know, they can do in Disney that's fun but also educational. Like, that's how I see it. Like, give them an assignment in Epcot. Like, that would be cool. Lion says, my favorite memory was when I tried Dole Whip. Oh my gosh, my favorite memory every trip is when I eat a Dole Whip. It's just every single iteration of Dole Whip eating. It's like ingrained in my brain. It's not, but that'd be really creepy if it was. Andre says, I low-key cry every time I see a fireworks show finale. Yeah, me too. I still didn't get a really great view of Happily Ever After this time because it was raining. You guys will see it in my vlog coming up, but it was raining and it was miserable, but I still kind of cried during the Hunchback part because it's awesome. And then I totally got emotional during Love is an Open Door and like that whole section of the fireworks. So it's all good. It's not just you. I cry too sometimes during fireworks, even when I try not to. Lynn says, my favorite Disney memory is when we did all 4 night shows in one night. It was over 10 years ago, and I vividly remember how tired we were. Yeah, I did that on a trip. Oh, gosh, one of my solo trips last year, and I have a vlog of it. I didn't do all 4, but I bounced from... I went from Fantasmic to Star Wars and then booked it walking to Epcot and caught Illuminations and then did extra magic hours at Epcot, and I was so exhausted after that, but it was like the best night ever. Courtney says, I had the unofficial Disney ride hotel crowd guide. more or less memorized at one point as a kid. My mom thought I was a little crazy, but I was just very enthusiastic. I like that. There should be a t-shirt that says, my mother thinks I'm crazy, I'm just very enthusiastic. I would like that. Tricky Crayon says, I high-key cry every time at fireworks shows. And Phantasmic. Phantasmic doesn't make me cry. I think I get into it in a more just excitable way. The first time I saw the Star Wars fireworks, before they were the iteration they are now, where there's less fireworks, but the first time I saw them, I cried a little bit because I was just so overwhelmed by the nostalgia and like the music playing and stuff. And I was like, am I really lame right now that I'm crying at Star Wars fireworks? It's like, I'm sure I wasn't the only one, but I felt a little lame. Nathan says, one of my favorite memories was meeting you and Rob at Epcot. Yes, that just happened on our trip. And that was so fun. I had so much fun hanging out with you, walking around with you. We love meeting people. We met so many people on our last trip. And like a lot of the times we're just like, hey, just come hang out with us and go on rides with us. And like, I enjoy hanging out with you guys so much. It's like one of my favorite things. Nathaniel Langston says, my favorite memory was when my dad and stepmom surprised me and my 2 younger brothers with a Disney cruise. We left the next day. That is awesome. I really want to go on a Disney cruise. And my friend Keith, some of you guys know him, he's a cast member, so he gets cast member discounts, but they're limited to very specific weeks in the year. And he keeps trying to get me to go with him, but like it never seems to line up with the schedule. So hopefully sometime in the next year or so I'll get to go on a cruise. Tricky Crown says, forget low key. I need to learn to pack a pocket tissue pack. Yeah. And then like bring some extra makeup so I can fix that after I cry. Courtney says, I also vividly remember being on trips with my cousins and spending a lot of time running through Toontown and playing in Minnie's house specifically. Yeah, I remember Toontown too. When I first went, when I was a baby, it was Mickey's Birthday Land. And then they were going to get rid of it after that year. And they turned it into Toontown, and I kind of miss Toontown a little bit. Like, I think the circus area is cool, but like, I miss Toontown a bit. Andre says, I need to see Happily Ever After in April. What should my strategy be for getting good viewing for like 5 people? Get there early. Seriously, I know that sounds really cliche. They do Once Upon a Time projection show about, I want to say half an hour before. So I would get there even before that, so you get a good spot for the projection show and the fireworks, at least 45 minutes early, I would say. Yeah, I think also try to be near the hub or not more than halfway back from Main Street, because then the projections get hard to see, and they're kind of important. Lion says, my kind of favorite memory was when Elizabeth Hasselbeck was at Disney and my friend wanted to know where she went. I told her not to bother her because she was with her kids, and she went off crazy. I don't know if I've ever really seen celebrities in Disney. I'm sure they've been around me and I've just never even noticed. There's a lot of celebrities who live in New York and I never see them, but I have a friend who has like an insane amount of selfies with them because he's just really good at spotting them on the street, and like, I'm totally oblivious to stuff like that. Lynn says, I cry so much in Disney that I bought all waterproof eye makeup for my trips. I mean, some of my stuff is waterproof, but it's obviously not that waterproof because I'm still having issues with it, you know. Maybe it's because I'm like touching my face. I don't know. Lynn says, so I got here late, but I assume your favorite memory was passing me in line for Tower of Terror. Best 30 seconds of your trip, right? Oh my God, yes. I remember that day we were trying to meet up and it just wasn't happening. And then I saw you. You're like in my vlog for a hot second. I was like, there's Lynn. That was a super, super funny moment. Courtney says, I have a friend who saw Snoop Dogg in Disney. Celebrities are everywhere in New York City, and I never keep a sharp enough eye out for them when I'm there. Yeah, me either. I think one time I saw Adrian Brody on like Fifth Avenue, and that was about it. I feel like New Yorkers, we're so into what we're doing that like we don't even notice people around us really. There's one time that I was out to lunch with one of my friends, And my friend went to the bathroom and texted me from the bathroom and said, "You realize John Cho is sitting next to us, right?" I had no idea. He was sitting next to us by himself having lunch for like a half an hour, and I had no idea. And then he left, and I was like, so completely oblivious. Pete says, "I think I cried on Alien Encounter." I think a lot of people cried on Alien Encounter. I didn't as a kid because I was weird and I liked scary things. But I remember a lot of people crying on that, and not in an emotional, wonderful way. Tricky Crayons is seconding getting there early for Happily Ever After. We sat on Main Street for over an hour for the best view. Husband bought dessert party tickets just in case too. Not the best view, but a decent backup. Yeah, the nice thing about dessert parties anywhere is like, yeah, it isn't going to be the best view, but you can guarantee a view and you don't have to worry and you get to eat desserts. So that's kind of nice. So like if that's something you want to spend money on in any of the parks, it's just like a nice way to have to not worry about, am I going to catch the show or not? Sorry guys, I'm like totally sniffling here. I've been sick since yesterday. It's been not great. Lynn says, "I stood right next to Jordan Fisher, who sings Happily Ever After during the fireworks. I'm still mad I didn't say hi." That's amazing. First of all, I probably wouldn't have known who that was. And second of all, that's so surreal. Do you think that like they're watching the fireworks and they're like, it's me, hearing me singing right now? Like, I don't know. That's strange. I think about that with like the voices of all the princesses and stuff. Like, is it weird for them that like these songs are just now played everywhere and they probably hear them all the time and you're just hearing yourself singing a song? I don't know. Lion says, "Splash Mountain broke down for me, then I went on Peter Pan and that broke down." I've had that happen before where you like, you get on one ride and it gets stuck, and then you get on the next ride and then that one gets stuck, and you're just like, why is everything just falling apart for me right now? I've also just like been in Magic Kingdom where like you look at the, sorry guys, there's a siren going on down my block. You look at the wait times and it's just like everything's broken, which is like the worst. Jordan Fisher was in Hamilton recently, still is, I think. I wouldn't know. I've never seen Hamilton. It is still so expensive here in New York to get tickets, like ridiculously expensive and ridiculously hard. And there was like a good 6 months where I was doing the lottery entry every single day, and then I gave up on that. I've never listened to the music or anything because I want to go in, like when I do finally get to see it, I want to go in like super fresh. But it is so hard to do here in New York. I feel like I almost need to like travel to Chicago or something to like go see it, because it's just like never gonna happen. It's been years now. It's just never gonna happen. Cool. So now that we've gone through a lot of our Disney memories, I don't know if you guys have any other sorts of Q&A for me. There's been so much like news and stuff lately, especially with D23 and like things happening in Paris and things happening in some of the other parks. We've got the news of Toy Story Land opening up on June 30th, and I'm trying to figure out like when they're gonna possibly do annual pass previews. From what I heard with Pandora, it was like 3 weeks before, and you got an email and you had to sign up really quick. There's a chance I'm just going to book a trip about 3 weeks before. And if they do it, then they do it. And if they don't, then I miss it. But I do know that Rob and I also are planning like a bigger trip in the fallish. So like we'll see Toy Story Land either way. But I would really like to see the previews for it. I'm just curious what you guys are thinking about it. Are you excited? I know some people are like, Toy Story Land, it's gonna be like another kiddie section and like it's not gonna be as great as people think, but I don't know. I have high hopes. I hope that like just the theming itself is gonna be really cool, and like maybe I'll do the 2 rides once and like not feel like I need to go on them again, but I still like the idea of there being a dedicated Toy Story Land area. I just love those movies, and like, I don't know. I just think they can do a lot with it, so. Courtney says, "Getting me started on talking Broadway is like opening Pandora's box, but Hamilton is really darn cool. Saw it with the OBC minus Lynn, as in the original Broadway cast." That's really cool. Like I said, I don't know. I need to like win the lotto to like get Hamilton tickets. Ashley said, "My first solo trip this April. Can't wait to make new memories." Oh my God, have the best time. I'm actually putting out a couple more videos about solo travel coming up in the next week or two, so hopefully they can help you. But yeah, if I go in June, I'm going solo, and honestly, so looking forward to it because it really is the best time. Oh my God, everyone, every single one of you watching needs to do a solo trip at some point in your lives. Just saying. Courtney says Toy Story Land seems really promising. What gifs I've seen from, I'm guessing the press footage so far looks really cool. It's seeming very immersive. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. There's a Toy Story Land in Hong Kong Disneyland that's here. I didn't get to go to. But people have felt disappointed with that. You know, they said it was just kind of like a blanketed theming, but isn't really that immersive. And so I think they're learning from that because there have been a lot of complaints about it. And I think that they want to stay away from doing something like that in Disney World. They want to do something better. So I'm hoping it's going to be really good. Geek for Life says, I'm going my first solo trip early March. So excited. I am so excited for you. I get so excited when I hear people are going solo. It is the best. It's literally the best. I want you, when you come back, to send me a message. I want to know everything. I want to know where you ate, what you rode, what your favorite memories were. Have the best time. Lynn says, I might be going in June. Awesome. So I've literally, before this live stream, I was playing around with dates. I was thinking maybe the second weekend of June. My husband Peter is actually going away for a bachelor party that weekend. So I was like, oh, perfect timing. I should just go to Disney World. So possible, not set in stone, but I'm looking at it. Hi, Thomas. Thank you for joining the live stream. Oh, thanks, Mouse Ears. Said I'm a big fan. Thank you. I'm so glad to see you here. I love hanging out with you guys. Geek for Life says you're staying at Riverside. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so you're going to love a video that I just did where I was talking about some of the best resorts for solo. It's going to be out, I think, either this week or next week. And Riverside was one of the ones that I mentioned. I think it's actually a really great resort for a solo trip. Yeah, it's really, really lovely. Brandy says, all-time favorite Disney restaurant? Ooh, that is tough. Okay. I'm going to break these down into like quick service and like table service because that's easier for me. Table service, I really, really like Hollywood Brown Derby. I've eaten there a few times. It's a little pricey, but the food is always really, really good. The service is amazing. I don't know. I've just really liked it. I've eaten there with people. I've eaten there solo. I'm a big fan of that restaurant. And then quick service, you know, I'm really liking the one in Pandora. The Satuli Canteen is just absolutely delicious. I think it's the best quick service on property now. It's so different from the other stuff elsewhere. And like now I feel like I'm gonna make a point to eat there all the time when I'm at Animal Kingdom. So yeah, it's tough. And then like, you know, I've done some of the show stuff. I really like Hoop-Dee-Doo. Hoop-Dee-Doo is really great. The food's good. I wouldn't say like the food's like phenomenal, but it's good if you want some like good fried chicken. And then you've got like a really good stage show that like has me laugh so hard that I cry. So I mean, I'm a big Hoop-Dee-Doo fan. I've done it like 3 or 4 times now. It's good. Thomas says I stay at so many Disney resorts. What is a souvenir that I can get from every resort? Ooh, you should do what I do. I get magnets at every single resort. They always have their own magnet. It's cheap, easy to collect. My fridge is full of them. And every time I stay at a new resort, like one that I've never been to before, I will pick up a magnet for that resort. They also have like mugs, keychains, stuff like that. And I like all that stuff because it tends to be relatively cheap. So it's like an easy, cheap thing to pick up every time that you're there. But like, I don't just get magnets at Disney. I get magnets no matter where I travel. Like Peter and I travel internationally quite a bit. And so we're always scouting for magnets like every country we go to. It's a thing. Our fridge is going to be insane. It already is insane. But yeah. Tricky Cran says, I feel like we tried to get a poly magnet, but they were out. I do have a poly magnet. I don't know if they changed it recently, but it's like, it has Mickey on there with like a Hawaiian shirt. And it says like Polynesian Resort. That's a shame they were out. I mean, did you check both? There's like 2 stores there. So I don't know if you checked both. But I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like magnets are a really easy thing for people to pick up. So I'm not surprised if it was sold out, because I think it's like a really common like memento thing that people get. M. Catrone says, the best place to watch illuminations. Anywhere. No, I mean, I say that because I've seen it from multiple different angles and I've never really had a bad experience. I would say Canada is actually a pretty good area to watch it from. I would say not to watch it from Japan, if only because of that big, like there's that big arch thing there that sometimes gets in your way. But Canada is pretty good, and I kind of like the area by Germany as well. But I mean, the nice thing about illuminations is like, literally because World Showcase is a circular area, it's hard to get a bad view. I think it's just like being mindful of lampposts and trees and things like that. You could also go to, I take back Japan. You can go to Japan and go to the 2nd floor. There's like a little balcony above the store. I think it's one of the restaurants up there, and you can stand there and watch it from above. That's pretty good. That's a pretty decent location. James says, what's the last thing you like to do at Disney before you have to go home? That's a really good question. I usually I'm trying to fit in something that either I didn't get to do, or if I feel like I did a lot of stuff on my trip, and I feel pretty satisfied with that, I usually go back to Magic Kingdom. I like closing out at Magic Kingdom, having a Dole Whip, and like keeping it chill, not like running around to rides on my last day. I like to just go and like take in the atmosphere and the entertainment, and like I said, get my Dole Whip, chill, and just kind of like, I don't know, bask in all of that before I know that I have to go home. It's just like that last minute of like, I'm just gonna absorb all the magic before I head back to New York, which always feels so like, you know, bleak and dreary when I come home. I'm always like, oh, New York's so dirty compared to Disney World. It's like, well, yeah, there's 9 million people living in this city. I doubt we can keep it clean, but it feels like a stark contrast after you've been in Disney. Geek for Life says, where in Disney World can I find Duffy stuff? I know that they still have a lot of stuff in Epcot, especially if you go to Mouse Gears. I would say World of Disney, but I know it's closed right now for some refurbishments. But like the big ones like that definitely have Duffy stuff. I think, and don't quote me on this because like I don't really follow the meet and greet as well, but I do think that they still have meet and greets with Duffy in Epcot. I might be wrong, but I think that they do. Rob says, hit that like button. Yes, thanks, Rob. Hit that like button, guys. Lynn says, my sister and her boyfriend collect magnets too, and their entire fridge is Disney magnets since we go so often. That is so funny. I always crack up because whenever I go over to Rob's, I look at his magnets and I'm like, Rob, like 75% of our fridge is the same. Like, he and I have the annual pass magnet and like the Disneyland colorful magnet from when we went together, and like literally we have like 75% of the same magnets. It's really, really funny. Thomas says, I want to collect the Starbucks mug ornaments in Disney World. I'm not going to go to Animal Kingdom on my trip. Is it worth going just for the ornament? As long as you have a park hopper, I wouldn't see why not. I would say go early in the morning just to like get that done. You know what I mean? Just go buy the ornament and then leave. But I would also check to see if they sell it on the Disney Parks merchandise app, because you can get a lot of things just delivered to you now. So check that first before making your way all the way to Animal Kingdom. Courtney says, what is the one ride in the parks you think you've been on the most times? Ooh, that is a really good question. I would probably say Haunted Mansion, I think, is up there. Space Mountain, I think, is also up there. Because I feel like those are 2 that I just, if I have the ability to get on them, I'll just go on them. And maybe Everest is also up there as well, because I've done a lot of like single rider lines of Everest, and that I've been on it a lot. I've done Everest like multiple times in a row before. So yeah, probably those. Ooh, and maybe Tower of Terror, because I will also do that multiple times in a row. So I think those 4 are like definitely the top 4 of like how many I've been on. Fun Disney fan says, will you be going to the Toy Story Land opening? I won't be going for opening. Unfortunately, a few days after that, I have to go to a bachelorette party for one of my good friends. So I can't go to the opening, but I'm going to see if I can get to an annual pass holder preview. So we'll see. Pete Booth says, what is Dole Whip? What is Dole Whip? Only the most delicious thing on all Disney property. No, so a Dole Whip is, you can get them at the Polynesian, Magic Kingdom, which is like the first place you could ever get it. And you can get ones with rum in it in Animal Kingdom. And it's basically a pineapple soft serve. They also have like vanilla, and I think there's like an orange flavor somewhere as well. But it's basically pineapple soft serve. You can do it as just like a cup, or you can do it as a float. So they'll do it on top of pineapple juice. It's really good. I love it. It's one of my favorite things ever. Nothing But Disney says, I bought a set of 7 pins and traded in DCA with cast members for these 5 sets of Epcot pins and the original Epcot Center symbols with Horizon, Land, Seas, Imagination, Communicore. Yeah, so they just came out with those pins recently, and Rob has been obsessing over them. He's been trying to get all of them because he loves the original Epcot stuff. So yeah, those pins are really, really cool. Ashley asks, favorite park? Epcot. Hands down Epcot, but weirdly enough, Animal Kingdom has made its way up the ranks a little bit. It's definitely beating Hollywood Studios at this moment, and is close to Magic Kingdom. I don't know. They've just done so much cool stuff with Animal Kingdom lately. Lola says, is your friend Rob in the entertainment industry, and your least favorite hyped ride? He is not. Well, no, he is, I guess, actually now. So he recently quit his job to do YouTube full time. So I guess you could say he is in the entertainment industry now. My least favorite hyped ride. Ooh, that is a good one. I'm not big on Peter Pan's Flight. And I'm actually going to do an unpopular Disney opinion on this. I don't get why people wait so long for that ride. I don't think it's that good. Oh God, please don't hate me. I just don't think it's that good of a ride. Nothing But Disney says, Pete Booth, did you seriously just ask that? Hey, some people don't know what Dole Whips are, and we need, as a group, to educate them so they can understand how wonderful Dole Whips are. We just need to embrace more people into the Dole Whip family. You know, it's important. We need to just convert more people. Thomas Barnes says, LeFou's Brew or Dole Whip? Dole Whip. 100% Dole Whip. LeFou's Brew is like a fancy apple juice. Nah, Dole Whip. Lynn asks, least favorite park. Yeah, I mean, right now, I guess I would say Hollywood Studios, and I don't even want to say, like, I still enjoy it, you know, it's not like I'm like, Hollywood Studios, gross. Just right now, there's just not a lot going on, so I don't really enjoy spending as much time there as I do the other 3 parks, but I feel like once Star Wars Land opens, it's gonna, like, skyrocket to, like, my number 1 because I'm such a big Star Wars fan, so... Fun Disney fan says, sorry, Christine, I don't like Dole Whips, and I didn't really like Hunchback. That's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. I think that's totally fine. I think if you don't like pineapple, you're not going to like Dole Whips, and Hunchback is not for everybody, and I always say that. So I don't expect people to love Hunchback. I mean, there's a reason why it isn't, you know, as popular as Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin or anything else. I think a lot of people, it's not for them, but it's my fave. Lynn says, when was the last time you rode Primeval Whirl? Oh my God, Rob and I actually rode it on the last trip. I kid you not. Because we got there really early. We didn't know what to get fast passes for. We needed to kind of just like use it on something. So we did Primeval Whirl and it was terrible. Oh my God, I felt like I needed a chiropractor afterwards. It hurt so much. So much. Terrible ride. M. Cachon said, when are you and Rob heading back to Disney World? So I think I might be going solo for a short weekend in June. I'm still kind of up in the air. And then I know he's going sometime in the spring with his girlfriend, Kat. I think we are going together again, probably, it's kind of up in the air, sometime in the fall-ish. So we haven't said for sure what dates yet, but it'll probably be a longer, like, week-long trip. But we don't know for sure yet. But when we do, I will obviously let you guys know. Tricky Crown says, I do like LeFou's brew, but the last time I had it, I flared after, so it kind of put me off, even though it's not like the brew was to blame. That sucks. I mean, as someone who, I'm very open with this to you guys, I have IBS, so I have to be careful about things that I eat sometimes, and I know what that's like. This is the worst when you try to enjoy something and then you just feel terrible afterwards. So I really, really sympathize with you. Nathan says, Peter Pan sucks in its current state. When it opened, it was revolutionary, but now it's a slow, squeaky ride through oversized, static action figures. I agree with your opinion there. Oh, good. At least I know when I make that video, I'm going to have 1 like. I'm going to have 1 like on that video. Ashley says, what's your favorite Disney movie? It's Hunchback. Actually, Hunchback is not just my favorite Disney movie. It is my favorite movie of all time, period. I'm not going to get into it because I could go on for hours. I think it's amazing. I think the animation is absolutely incredible. I think the music is absolutely incredible. I love the characters. I like the dark nature of it. I think that's really interesting. I think Esmeralda kicks butt. I wish there was more stuff of her around the parks. Oh, it's great. Such a great movie. Geek for Life says, Hunchback rocks. Out There is the most amazing Disney song. It really is an amazing, amazing song. I'm so glad that it's in the fireworks. Pete says, would you like to see a McDonald's in a Disney park? Nope. I don't eat fast food. I haven't eaten fast food since I was 13 because I got food poisoning at McDonald's. And when you're 13, that's really traumatizing. So, well, at least I haven't eaten McDonald's since then. And then I cut off everything else, Wendy's, Burger King, Taco Bell, all of that, about 16 years old. So I haven't eaten that kind of food in, 15 years now. So, yeah, I don't care about McDonald's being in the parks. Andre says, I want to see Chipotle in Disney parks. I mean, if you go to Satuli Canteen, it's not Chipotle food, but it's very similar. You get to build your own bowl of food, and it's really, really good. Lynn says, you should go in October. I'm going then. Well, we'll see. It's hard when you're planning with multiple people, as I'm sure you know. We have to figure out when our stuff works out. I mean, now that I have the annual pass till January of 2019, obviously I need to find more like small weekends to go, so who knows. Brandy says, at Kabuki Cafe in Japan, they have a super cool beer. It's called a Frozen Kirin, and it looks like a fake beer from a cartoon with the white foam on top. Would definitely recommend it in the summer. I've heard about this, but I haven't had it. But I would really like to try it. I am a big beer person. I just like beer. I like craft beers a lot. So I would definitely have to try that. Julia says, you should go in November. That is when I'm going. When are you going in November? I keep playing around with the idea of going for my birthday, though I don't know if that'll actually work out, which is November 19th. But curious when you're going in November. Andre says, Black Panther. Have you seen it, Christine? Not yet. Rob and I are actually planning on it this week. I need to text him today to ask him when he wants to go, because I think we're going to do a separate podcast review of it. I'm very excited to see it, though. All of my friends who have seen it, including friends who are not, I wouldn't say Marvel or Disney fans in any way, but went to see it because so many people were talking about it, loved it. You know, people who don't even normally, I know, care about superhero movies, loved it. So I'm super, super pumped for it. Nothing But Disney says, what attraction do you think needs a refurb soon? A lot of I think there's just a lot of them that are like kind of showing their age. I think honestly a lot of the videos, I've been talking about this a bit lately, the videos in Epcot, like the country videos, need to be updated for sure. Like I really love the Impressions Difference. I think the concept is beautiful, and I think they can still keep that kind of experience, but they really need to update the visuals to be I don't know, one just more clear. Like I feel like they're a little fuzzy, but also like update them for 2018, you know? So I really think they could like do that and do that pretty easily, and it would be really cool. Andre says, any good drink recommendations for anything who is underage? Yeah, so there is a drink at Pangu Pangu in Pandora. It's this little I don't know, like drink snack area outside of the canteen. They do have alcoholic beverages, but they also have something called, I think it's called the Night Blossom. It is non-alcoholic and it is really, really good. Really good. If you like sweeter drinks. And then LeFou's Brew is also, I mean, I like Dole Whip better, but LeFou's Brew is still pretty good. And you can find that in Gaston's Tavern in New Fantasyland. Pete Booth says, what's your favorite Disney park ghost story? The Pirates one. I can't think of the name of the ghost, but there's supposedly a ghost in Pirates that they have to say good morning to and good night to every single day, and if they don't, the ride breaks down. And I have friends who work at Disney World who swear by this. So I think that is the most interesting story. Nothing But Disney says, did you know that the France Show is the only attraction in Epcot that is 100% the same as when it opened? Great, so then they should fix it. That's kind of how I feel. Like if it's been around that long and they haven't changed it, like, you can update a video, you know? Julia says, I'm staying at Coronado Springs. One of my faves. One of my faves. Love it. Lola says, how do you decide when you're going? Does it depend on the airline price or when it is less crowded? So, I mean, judging by how January was, I feel like there really isn't such thing as less crowded anymore, unfortunately. So I'm not really thinking about that as much. Also because I go so often that if there are long lines, I know how to entertain myself outside of just rides, you know. How I decide is normally, it's kind of like when kind of makes sense in the rest of my life. Like this year we have 7 weddings that I'm going to. 7. It's absurd. It's just the age that we're at. Like all my friends are getting married. So I have to plan around that. And then part of it's airfare. I have a JetBlue credit card, so I have points. But obviously, like the cheaper the actual airfare is, the less points I need for the airfare. So I try to go when I can mostly use points to get down there. And then some of it has to do with what the discount is for annual pass holder. You know, sometimes of the year it's better than others. And I'm trying, especially when I'm solo, I don't like to spend more than $150 a night. So I'll usually look for like any value that's available and, you know, annual pass discount. So like when I'm looking in June right now with the discount, it's like, I don't know, $135 a night for like all-star movies or something. And when I'm solo, I'm less picky about the resort that I'm staying in because I'm just trying to get down there and like budget it, you know, so. Hey, Alipop, I'm glad you could be here. Nothing But Disney says no, keep it the same for the France video. I mean, I just think they need to, I'm not saying update it and like make it so drastically different. I think it should be the same in terms of like what they're presenting. But I just think it needs to be updated to, 1, be crisper and clearer screens, and 2, just look like France in 2018 instead of France, you know, back in the 80s. Julie says, where do you get your music for your videos? Oh, that's a good question. So some of my music comes from YouTube's music library, which anyone can use for free. Some of my music comes from, if you look on SoundCloud, there are actually quite a few playlists that are specifically for YouTube vlogs, or they'll be separated into like travel vlogs and then like inspirational music or whatever. And a lot of artists will put them up there for free to download. You can actually, if you search like travel vlogs or whatever in SoundCloud, you'll probably come across these. I have toyed with some paid music library stuff. I haven't found one that I've super liked yet. But that's basically where I get them from. Andrew says the French show can stay. It just needs to be updated. I mean, 30 years of history have passed since then. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, the show itself can stay. I'm not saying to change what it is or how it works. I just think it needs to be updated. Ashley says, what do you think about Pop? Have you stayed there? Yeah, so I've stayed there a number of times since it opened. The first time I stayed there was like a year after it opened. And then the last time I stayed there was my last trip. Rob and I split. We stayed at Art of Animation a couple of nights and then Pop a couple of nights. I like it. I think it's starting to show its age a little bit, but they're updating all of the rooms to like these really nice new rooms, which I think is great and they need to do. So, but otherwise I really like it. I like the food court, it has some good food in it. General, like I've never had a complaint about that resort. Ali Pop says, what are your favorite parades and shows to watch? Illuminations has always been up there for me. I try to catch on every trip if I can. I really am into Festival Fantasy. I've never been a midday parade person before that one, but I love it. I think it's really, really awesome. And then I'm obsessed with Paint the Night, which I saw in Disneyland a couple years ago. Obsessed. I think it is the best parade Disney has ever put on. So I hope we get something like it soon. Lola says, is this count because you're an annual pass holder? Yes, it is. So they release in kind of like rolling waves of months, different discounts for annual pass holders, much like they do regular discounts for regular guests. Like they'll do their spring one or their summer one or whatever. And they're usually a little bit more off than what the general public gets. Nathan says, what would you think about a Kingdom Hearts ride? I would be the first to admit that I never finished Kingdom Hearts, and that's weird because if you guys know me, I'm a big gamer. Like, I play video games every single day. And I started the first one, and I couldn't really get into it, but they re-released the games on PlayStation 4, like in a little, I don't know, pack or whatever. So I want to play them, so I don't have too much of an opinion on a ride around it because I don't know much about it. Whether it would really happen or not, I mean, that would depend on if Square Enix could come to some sort of agreement with Disney, so I don't know. M. Catron says, do you think the Magic Kingdom will see the return of a night parade in the near future? Hopefully something like Paint the Night. Gosh, I hope so. There was rumors for the longest time that we were going to get Paint the Night. Then I heard that there was like a specific float that was too heavy for a certain section of Magic Kingdom. I hope we get something soon. I think I was a little disappointed with D23 that, you know, they were talking about other new night parades and like, I don't know. I don't know what the, sorry, I'm getting very congested. I don't know what the story is behind that and why we don't have one yet. So, I don't know. It's kind of disappointed. Julian says, are the All-Star Resort rooms outdated? Yeah. That's my honest answer. And like I said, when I'm going solo, I don't care as much. I just need a place that's like cheap. I need a roof over my head, a bed to sleep in. But they are feeling really outdated. I find that like the lights are not great, like the light fixtures and stuff. The hair dryers are very outdated. There's just certain things about it. They just starting to feel a little bit old. So I think they definitely need to redo them, but they're redoing a lot of resorts. So hopefully that will be soon. Ali Pop says, have you ever gone on a Disney cruise? If not, are you planning to go? So I was talking about this a little bit earlier. I do really want to go on a Disney cruise. I've been on a regular cruise before, and I really, really enjoyed it. And Disney cruises are very expensive compared to other cruise lines, like very expensive. But to be fair, they also offer just a ton of entertainment on their boats, so I get it. My friend Keith Lappenig, who has a channel and is also a cast member, keeps pushing me to go with him at some point. So we're just trying to find the right time and the right port because he's in California and I'm in New York. So we got to like figure it all out. Ali Pop says, thanks for doing this. Of course, I do streams once a month so I can hang out with you guys and answer questions and try to stick to a topic in the beginning, which we were talking about, you know, favorite Disney memories. But yeah, once a month, I've been trying to do these. They've been so much fun. I really, really love hanging out with you guys. All right, I'm going to wrap up in the next minute. So give me your last questions. Nathan says, what Pixar movies have you cried at? I lost it during Up and Toy Story 3. Inside Out almost broke me, but I didn't break. So yeah, Toy Story 3. I started crying in Toy Story 3 in the first 5 minutes. It was like one of those for me. Also because I grew up with the first Toy Story, so when that one came out, I was already kind of an adult, and there was a lot of nostalgic feels. Coco made me cry at multiple times. Up, I think, makes everyone cry. If it doesn't make you cry, then you don't have a soul. Like that movie. Like, it's just thinking about it, I'm like getting emotional. James says, thank you for letting us into your world. Love the vids. Thank you. I appreciate that. Fun Disney fan says, why don't you have more subscribers? I don't know. I mean, I can't, control how many subscribers I have. But if you guys think that there is someone that would like my channel, then the best thing that you guys can do to help me is to share that with them. Let them know what I'm doing. Katron says, thanks, Christine. Love the videos, content, and podcast. Thank you for just listening to the podcast and watching the videos and being a part of my life. I super appreciate it. I hope you guys know that. Like, just getting to talk to you and hang out with you all the time is just really, really awesome. And even though, Fun Disney fan, I don't have a bajillion subscribers, it doesn't matter to me because I have created such a great little community here, and I love speaking with you guys, and you're so engaging and fun and as passionate about Disney as I am, and I love that. I love connecting with you guys on that. So, you know what? I don't need all the subscribers. I just need you guys. That's it. All right, guys. So I'm going to go probably take more cold medicine because I'm still really congested. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be doing another one next month. And as soon as I know my June dates, I'll let you guys know. It's probably going to happen. All right, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.